two games in this Crow Boy doubleheader on Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. In the first one, it didn't turn out too good. The Phillies committed 33 turnovers on their way to a 54-38 loss at the hands of the Lady Commodores of Tates Creek. Let's hope that the Thoroughbreds can do a much better job than that here in their game against Bracken County. Polar Bears coming to tonight's game off of a 71-63 loss to Tates Creek in Brooksville last Saturday. Meanwhile, the Breds played well for most of the game in its last game at Campbell County, but fell to the Camels 70-67. Tonight, a good chance for the Thoroughbreds to get back on the winning track, although Bracken County, a couple of big scores, will always make things difficult. We'll take a break right now as the two teams continue to warm up and come back and tell you a little bit more about the Thoroughbreds and the Polar Bears. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back up here on the hilltop. Harrison County and Bracken about 11 minutes away from getting this contest started. Well, the Polar Bears overall on the year, 2-4, coached by Adam Reed, who is now in his second year at the helm of the Polar Bears. They feature the top scorer in the 10th region in freshman guard Blake Reed, who's averaging 25.6 points a game. Reed has scored over 30 points in Bracken County's last two games, including 39 in Saturday's loss to Tates Creek. The Polar Bears are the smallest team in the 10th region with only two players on the roster taller than 6 foot, which will make things very difficult for them because Harrison County has quite a few more than just a few 6-footers. The best shooter on this Polar Bear team, sophomore Jashad Commodore, who's hitting 50% of his shots. Their best rebounder is senior forward Nathan Jefferson, who's pulling down 8 rebounds per game. As a team, this bunch likes to jack it up from three-point range, as probably would be the best scenario for a team as short as they are. They're averaging 26 three-point attempts per game, but making only 27% of their tries from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, the Breds had a great game against Campbell County that came down to the last possession, but couldn't quite get it done. 9 ties and 8 lead changes in that game against the Camels, a game in which neither team led by more than 7 points. Midway through the fourth quarter, Harrison County led 64-57, but you could almost sense our guys tightening up and got outscored 13-4 down the stretch. The Thoroughbreds, and this is going to be a problem for a little while. Remember, we only won 5 games last year, so we don't know a whole lot about playing with a lead. We played more not to lose than to win that game against Campbell County, missing several close-in shots over the final 4 minutes. Freshman guard Caden Custard had a big game, equaled his career high with 20 points, also grabbed 11 rebounds, had 4 assists, and just 1 turnover in 32 minutes of play against a very aggressive Campbell County squad. So far this year, Caden is averaging 15 points, 8 rebounds from the point guard spot, 4 assists, and 4 turnovers, and averaging about 30 minutes per game. Senior guard J.D. Sword broke out of his mini slump with 17 points and 9 rebounds. However, senior guard Clay Carpenter did not score. We have got to get both Sword and Carpenter to play well at the same time for this team to be successful. Also, the post combination of Will Furnish and Blaine Biddle combined for just 5 points and 3 rebounds. We've got to get more activity out of our post position. And one change that's been made that we know of by Coach Brooks, as he has replaced Will Furnish in the starting 5 with Biddle. We'll see how that turns out. One interesting stat that I was looking at yesterday or last night when I was putting all this together, our team has stamina problems. We seem like we tire down in the second half, and there's some statistics that bear that out. Our field goal percentage in the first half is 47%, which is pretty darn good. Our field goal percentage in the second half, only 39%. From three-point range in the first half, we're hitting 47% of our three-pointers, which is very good. In the second half of games, we're only hitting 23% of our three-point tries. And that stamina problem extends over to the defense as well. Our opponents in the first 3 quarters of a game are hitting 40% of their shots. That's pretty darn good. However, our opponents in the fourth quarter are making 58% of their field goal attempts, which kind of shows that our defense is letting down a little bit. As far as from three-point range, through the first 3 quarters, our opponents are only hitting 26% from beyond the arc. However, in the fourth quarter, that jacks up to 36%. So both on offense and on defense, as you can tell, we get a little tired in the second half, and our play lets down on both sides of the floor. Hopefully, we can get that issue resolved before too awful long. Well, both teams have gone back to their respective locker rooms. We invite you to stay tuned as we'll come back and take a look at the starting lineups of tonight's game between Harrison County and Bracken County. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. All righty, back here on the hilltop, the Breads and the Polar Bears about 5 minutes away from getting things started. Let's take a look at the starters for both teams right now. Bracken County, as we said, 2-4 on the year, coached by Adam Reed. At a guard, a 5'8", 8th grader, number 2, Caden Reed. Caden Reed averaging 9.8 points a game. At another guard, the leading scorer in the 10th region, Blake Reed. Blake wears the number 5. He's a 5'10 freshman and is averaging 25.6 points a contest. At a third guard, Charlie Schultz. He's a 5'11 junior who wears the number 13 and is averaging 5.7 points a game. And the fourth guard is Garrett Reynolds. Reynolds wears the number 22. He's a 5'8 sophomore, also averaging 5.7 points a contest. And at the forward, number 21, a 5'10 senior, Nathan Jefferson. Jefferson averaging 8 points a contest. So once again for the Polar Bears, it'll be Caden Reed, Blake Reed, Schultz, Reynolds, and Jefferson. On the season, Bracken averaging 59.5 points a game on offense. On defense, they're giving up 64.8 points a game. Now for the Harrison County Thoroughbreds, 1-3 on the year. At a guard, a 6-foot freshman, number 1, Caden Custard. Custard, the leading scorer on the year at 15 points a game. At another guard, J.D. Sword. J.D., the 6'1 senior who wears the number 11, bounced out of a mini slump with 17 points against Campbell the other night. He's raised his average now to 10 points a game. At the third guard, Clay Carpenter. Carpenter wears the number 24. He's a 6'1 senior now, averaging 10.5 points a game. And a forward, a 6'5 sophomore, number 21, J.D. Kendall. Kendall averaging 10.8. And in the middle, getting his first start of the season, Blaine Biddle. Biddle, a 6'6 junior who wears the number 15. He's averaging 2.5 points a game. So once again for the Breads, it'll be Custard, Sword, Carpenter, Kendall, and Biddle. Thoroughbreds averaging 61.8 points a game on offense. On defense, giving up 66 points per game. So there are your starting 5s for the opponents tonight here on the Hilltop, Harrison County and Bracken. Well, while we have this opportunity, let's take it back to the station to Bruce Templeton from Unity Christian Church with tonight's pregame prayer. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, Harrison County and Bracken County playing each other for the 91st time in the school's program's history. Harrison leads the overall series pretty handily, 66 to 24. It's a series that began back in January of 1951 when the Polar Bears came to Santana and went back to Brooksville, a 46 to 44 winner. The Thoroughbreds have been especially effective here on the Hilltop in this series. 35-6. That's Harrison County's record against Bracken County here on the Hilltop. In fact, the Thoroughbreds have won 20 straight games over the Polar Bears and 29 of the last 30 between these two schools here on the Hilltop. The last time that Bracken County beat Harrison County here at home was back in February of 1973. And that stretch of 29 wins in 30 games goes all the way back to January of 1961. So we've had their number for quite a while, especially here on the Hilltop. Last year, the two teams got together over in Brooksville, with Bracken coming away an 80-71 victor. The last time the two teams got together here on the Hilltop was a couple of years ago in a game which Harrison County won 64-61. So there's a short look at the rivalry between Harrison County and Bracken County. Harrison County will be back in action tomorrow here on the Hilltop when they'll host the Pirates of Powell County. They'll continue to play here on the Hilltop on Friday as well when they'll host the Warhawks of Great Crossing. And then a week from tonight, the Thoroughbreds will be part of a girl-boy doubleheader as we'll play up at Maysville St. Patrick, the Thoroughbreds game, the second game of that doubleheader. Well, as we said earlier tonight, the Phillies lost 54-38 to Tate's Creek. They'll be back in action on Wednesday here on the Hilltop against Beechwood. That's only a varsity game, which will begin at 6:30. Then on Saturday, the Phillies will play at Bourbon County. That's a 4:30 varsity start. And then on Monday will be the first half of that girl-boy doubleheader up at St. Pat. The wrestling team on Wednesday will be at Bourbon County for the County Line Duel. And then on Saturday, the wrestling team will be at Franklin County for the Capital City Classic. Well, right now we're about to have the national anthem, so we'll take a listen to that, after which we'll take a break and then come back for the tip-off. But here, our national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
Alrighty, back here on the hilltop, Harrison County and Bracken County about to take each other on. The Polar Bears won the toss and will inbounds the ball to begin this contest between the 1-3 Thoroughbreds and the 2-4 Polar Bears. Inbounds pass will come to Caden Reed. Man-to-man defensive pressure by the Thoroughbreds. Sword on Caden Reed. Caden between the legs dribble, trying to get away from Sword. Now passes to the near side to Blake, long range. He'll go down to the block, to the glass. His shot, it's going to be good. So Blake Reed, who's averaging about 25 points a game, starts things out, not unordinarily, but with the basket to give his team the 2-0 lead within the first half a minute. Into the front court with the basketball come the Thoroughbreds. Baseline 12-footer, Carpenter, good. Nice shot by Clay. Glad to see him get into the scoring column very early in this contest. 7:19 on the clock. Over on the left side is Reed. That's Blake. Now to Caden Reed. Caden to the top of the key in between the circles now to Commodore. Commodore now gets the ball back in the hands of Garrett Reynolds, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds. Bracken will maintain possession from the far hash mark. Inbounding the ball will be Reynolds. Reynolds looking, lobs it into the backcourt to Blake Reed. Blake across the timeline, picked up by Sword defensively. Now moves to the right side, long range. Now kicks it in between the circles to Caden Reed. Caden drifts to the left side in front of the Harrison bench. Now up top to Reynolds. Reynolds spins around, sees Carpenter there. He'll get it back between the circles to Blake Reed. Good defense by the Thoroughbreds. Blake, a step inside the arc, steps back outside. Now gets it inside the center circle to Caden Reed. Caden calls out the play as he drifts to the right side. Now races to the basket. A leaner from 12 off the glass is good. So Caden Reed breaks the tie to put his team up by a count of 4-2. 6:24 on the clock here in the first quarter. Into the front court, Caden Reed gets the ball to Sword, down low to Biddle, who puts it up and in. Nice pass that time by Sword. Biddle with the basket, and we are knotted up this time at 4-4. With the basketball in the corner, Blake Reed, his three is no good, but coming down with the rebound will be Nathan Jefferson. And now we're going to have a tie-up. 6:02 on the clock here in the first quarter.
You know, I'm kind of surprised their presence.
Yeah, with their lack of size.
Yes, their lack of size, their lack of depth.
Yeah.
You know, and how much they count on three-pointers going in, they'll lose their legs at the end of the game.
Exactly.
Careful.
J.D. Kendall gets the ball to Carpenter, who brings the ball across the midcourt stripe, lobs to the near sideline to Sword. Right now, Harrison just throwing over the top of that press. Carpenter from NBA three range, off the flange, no good. Rebound batted around, and finally Clay comes up with it himself. Over to Sword for a three, and it's good. There's another Killian's Pizza three-pointer delivered by the Thoroughbreds, this time by J.D. Sword to give Harrison County its first lead of the game at 7-4. 5.5 left to go in this first quarter of play. With the basketball, Blake Reed drives baseline, kicks it in the corner to Caden, now goes into the paint, tries to drop the ball down low to Jefferson. He bobbles it, but collects it and puts it up and in. Nathan Jefferson from point-blank range on that layup makes it a 7-6 game. 5:09 left to go in this first quarter. Up by one, Breds facing that full-court pressure. Kendall to Sword, back to Kendall once again. Sophomore across the timeline, goes between the circles, surveys the Bracken County 2-3 defense. He'll hand the ball to Caden Custard. Caden on the opposite side of the midcourt circle, gets to the far hash mark to Kendall, now to Carpenter, back to Custard once again. Caden to the foul line to Biddle, turnaround jumper, off to the left. Rebound pulled down by Jefferson, and here come the Polar Bears trying to retake the lead. Caden Reed, diagonal pass underneath the basket, intended for Reynolds, who catches it but travels as he caught the ball a little too far underneath the net.
Yeah, that was a tough, hard pass to make, and not a really very wise one.
Kendall inbounds the ball to Sword, back to Kendall. Kendall picks up the dribble, gets it back to Sword, now into the front court at the hash mark to Custard. Caden is going to be backed out by the defensive Jefferson, has the ball knocked out of his hands and out of bounds by Commodore. Commodore, a 5'11 sophomore, averaging 5.7 points a game. Now making his way into the contest for the first time, Charlie Schultz. Schultz, a 5'11 junior, averaging 5.7 points per contest. with the basketball in the corner. Kendall out top now to Sword. In between the circles, you'll find Custard. Custard looks at Commodore, now takes the ball a little bit over to the left side, now reverses as he calls out the play. Freshman gets the ball on the wing to Biddle. His pass inside is knocked away, but Kendall picks up the loose ball, and a hook shot by JD. Good job there, puts Harrison up 9-6. Good job on that hook shot. Looked like Wilt Chamberlain, almost. With the basketball left side, Jefferson three. Oh, way off the mark. Carpenter with the rebound, and here come the Breads, up by 3. Custer, then the corner finds Kendall. No good off the flange. Rebound pulled down this time by Commodore. Commodore in the front court. Passes the ball to Caden Reed, who has his dribble knocked out of bounds from behind by Sword. So Bracken will maintain possession. Need to feed a hungry crew fast? Order a Beast Pizza right now. Don't forget about wings and salads too. Call 235-7627. That's 235. And Trent said, you didn't hear it. I'll bet I did. Snap. With the basketball on the near side of the midcourt circle, Caden Reed in between the circles to Jefferson. Jefferson guarded by Biddle. Thinking real hard about a 3. Now passes the ball to Caden Reed. Caden from the foul line. Off balance jumper. No. Biddle with the rebound for the Breads. He'll get the ball to the front court to Caden. Caden Custer to the basket. Layup is going to be called off because of a charge. Or did they? Yeah.
Yeah, they call it charge.
That's probably a good call. Turnover gives the ball back to the Polar Bears. First sub of the game coming in for the Breads, Will Furnish. Furnish, a 6'11 sophomore, averaging 4.3 points a game. Little full court man pressure by the Thoroughbreds now. They'll leave the inbounds passer, Charlie Schultz, alone. He'll get it inbounds to Caden Reed. Caden across the timeline on the near side. Brings it into the front court inside the arc on the left side. Now kicks it back to the top of the key to Jefferson. He'll hand the ball to Blake Reed, and
moving screen.
A moving screen will call that bad shot off. That'll be on Jefferson, his first. So the Breads with the ball and the 9-6 lead. You need someone to protect your home, auto, and more like they're protecting the rim? That's when you call Dan Furnish. Call Dan with any questions about insurance coverage at 234-4514. That's 234-4514 for Dan Furnish. Inbounds pass will come to Custard. Custard gets the ball to Kendall in between the circles. JD moves to the right elbow, fires a 15-footer. Good. Kendall with his 4th point, and Harrison County's lead grows to 11-6. Into the front court with the basketball come the Polar Bears. 2:42 left to go in this first quarter. With the basketball, steal by Custard. Caden to the basket, layup and good. Caden Custer with his first points of the night. Harrison's lead improves to 13-6. With the basketball on the right side, Caden Reed. Caden Reed now to the left side, long range into the hands of Dylan Teagardens in the game. Teagarden, a 5'10 sophomore, averaging 2.8 points a game. Now a block by Furnish. The ball will remain in the hands of the Polar Bears. A couple of subs for Harrison County. Tayshawn Custard, a 5'10 senior, averaging 3.3. Also Gunnar Cole checks in. Gunnar, a 5'11 junior, averaging a couple of points a game. He had a big game against Campbell County, scoring 8 points, including a couple of trays. Caden Reed gets the ball to Blake Reed, backs up Cole. Follow-away jumper from 13 is very short. Carpenter comes down with the rebound. And here come the Thoroughbreds, already leading by 7. A couple of minutes left to go in the first quarter. Tayshawn backs it up. Bounce pass down low to Biddle, who lays it up and in. Give Tayshawn Custer the assist that time as Harrison County, actually that was Ian Boland, excuse me.
No, that was Furnish.
Furnish, I'm sorry. So Will Furnish with his first points of the night. 1:40 left to go. Harrison County up by a measure of 15-6. Now, foul on Gunnar Cole. So Bracken County, who has now been outscored 8-0, gets the ball in bounds. Minute and a half left to go in the first quarter. Recrossing the timeline, Blake Reed. And he's going to be bumped by Cole again. Gunnar get in front of him. That'll be 2 fouls on Cole very quickly, prompting J.D. Sword to check back into the ball game. From the hash mark inside the Harrison County bench area, Blake Reed will inbounds the ball.
Reed kind of led with the elbow there. That
Just a little bit.
was a little bit iffy.
Caden Reed looking to get the ball to someone. Wraparound pass to Blake Reed on the baseline. Blake kicks it up top to Schultz, to the right side to Teagarden. Back to Schultz. Leaner blocked by Furnish, but getting the rebound is going to be Schultz. His putback is no good, but there will be a foul. It's a couple of blocks by Will here in the first quarter. Although he did pick up that personal foul. Nathan Jefferson's first trip to the line tonight on the year. Jefferson, a 58% free throw shooter. First free throw is going to bounce out, no good. Score remains Harrison 15, Bracken 6. Harrison County has reeled off 8 points in a row. We had a couple of ties and the lead changed early until Harrison took control. Second free throw, in and out, no good. Boland comes down with the rebound for the Thoroughbreds. Into the front court comes Harrison. Sword gets the ball to Tayshawn Custard. Tayshawn steps inside the center circle. Looks to his left. Be careful, Tayshawn. Now takes the ball to the left side, and a foul is going to be called on Caden Reed. Now it'll be Caden Reed's first. Under minutes go in the first quarter. Harrison with a semi-comfortable 9-point lead right now. Boland looking to get the ball in bounds. Somebody get open. He finally finds Carpenter. Clay turns around and now picks up his dribble, gets it to the elbow to Boland. Boland goes to the block, kicks it in the corner to Sword for a three. Yes! There's another Killian Speaks a three-pointer delivered by J.D. Sword off of the assist from Ian Boland. And Harrison County's lead grows now to 18-6. Just 35 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Here's a three put up, no good. Rebound pulled in by Jefferson. Jefferson back out top to Blake Reed. His three is no good. Rebound still being on the floor. Coming up with it, Nathan Jefferson. Blake Reed, follow away 10-footer, bounces out. Rebound, though, picked up by Schultz. Put back, blocked by Furnish. Carpenter with the rebound, and he's rushing the other way. Going to the basket. Shot blocked. Rebound pulled down by Schultz, and we'll race the other way. Caden Reed with 7 seconds left gets the ball to Jefferson. Out top, here's a three by Schultz. Good! And that is the way that the first quarter will end with your score. Harrison County 18, Bracken County 9. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. Back here at the Hilltop, Bracken County's Charlie Schultz with a three-pointer with a couple of seconds on the clock in the first quarter. Stops an 11-0 Harrison County run. Reds still up, though, 18-9 as we begin the second period. Just like the Breads and Phillies delivering three-pointers, Kellyan's Pizza can deliver to you tonight. Call 298-2048 to place your order. Also available for pickup in the Bridge Street Plaza. Bracken's Nathan Jefferson fires an open three. It's no good. Rebound, though, is pulled down by Schultz. And now we've got a whistle, and stepping on the end line that time was Commodore. So on the turnover, give the ball back to the Thoroughbreds.
You know, when I watched them warm up, I was wondering about our big guys and their ability to defend from three. Jefferson's practiced a lot of three-pointers during the practice warm-ups.
Tayshawn across the timeline on the near side of the midcourt circle, gets it to the elbow to Boland. Ian goes down to the block, and we're going to have a foul away from the basketball and an illegal screen set by Tayshawn Custard. So on the turnover, give the ball back to Bracken County. Polar Bears with several players back from last season, hoping for big things. Blake Reed gets it into the front court to Jefferson. Jefferson goes to the rack and lays it up and in. Nice job that time by Nathan with a quick release. And that will get his Polar Bears back to within 7 at 18-11. 7:20 left to go here in this second quarter of play. With the basketball, Tayshawn goes into the paint, lobs one up, blocked out of there that time by Schultz. Goes out of bounds. Harrison will maintain possession from the hash mark beside the team area for Bracken County. Bowen will inbounds it. Gets it down on the baseline to Kendall. Kendall lobs the ball down to the block to Furnish. His turnaround jumpers blocked by Schultz. And now we're going to have a whistle out front and a foul called on Caden Custard for pushing off, and that'll be 2 fouls on Caden. Sword will check in for the freshman. With 7:03 left to go in the second quarter. Now we got a timeout called by Bracken County, just a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. 7:03 left to go in the first half. Harrison leading 18-11, and Mike, we started out so fast, I hope we don't have a tendency to kind of let up on the pedal any.
Well, in this quarter, we've had 2 fouls away from the ball.
Yep.
And a drive in and a throw up that couldn't have gone in for any amount. Thankfully, they blocked it, saved the embarrassment of missing it as far as I was going to miss. So, and, you know, I'm very concerned about Jefferson. I mean, I know they want the Reed boys to score, but they're not going to let the Jefferson's going to drive us to the basket.
No, and that's what he's got to do. He's only hit 2 out of 16 threes this season.
Well, he better drive.
Yeah, back off, and we'll double team him when he comes down low. He has the ball now at the right elbow. Jump shot over Furnish is good. Now you got to go out and guard him on the 2-pointers. He now has 6 points and draws his team back to within 18-13 after that 15-footer. Under 7 to go here in the first half. Bowen to the block off the glass. Good, and he's fouled. And Ian has a chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play. His first points of the night. Bowen on the season has not yet attempted a free throw. Of course, his first game back was the Campbell County game the other night. Up and no good. Rebound pulled down this time by Commodore. He'll get the ball into the hands of Blake Reed. Polar Bears down by 7. Blake Reed to the top of the key to Jefferson. Fakes the 3, now gets it on the right wing long range to Blake Reed.
Got Biddles out on him closer too.
Yeah. Blake goes to the block. His shot blocked out of there by Biddle. And the rebound pulled in by Custer. That's Tayshawn. And now the ball knocked away. Loose ball on the floor. Picked up by Jefferson to Commodore. To the top of the key to Blake Reed. Blake now on the baseline to Schultz. Gets the ball into the hands of Reynolds. Reynolds spins. Gets it back between the circles to Blake Reed. NBA 3. Try good. First tray of the game by Blake Reed. And it was a long distance one to get his team back to within 4 at 20-16. Just to show you how fast that 3-pointer can change this game. Tayshawn with the basketball. Crossover dribble at the top of the key. He'll hand the ball to Bowen. Bowen at the elbow extended. Back out top to Sword for 3. Good! Give Bowen another assist and another Killian's Pizza 3-pointer by J.D. Sword. That's his 3rd of the game as the Thoroughbreds go up 23-16. Up top with the basketball is Caden Reed. Caden gets the ball to the near side to Nathan Jefferson. Jefferson backs out again. He'll get it back between the circles to Blake. Blake Reed now in the paint. Kicks it back up top to Nathan Jefferson for a 3-pointer. Barely grazes the rim. And the rebound still being knocked around and finally picked up by Commodore. He'll get it underneath the basket to a wide open Reynolds who puts it up and in. We've got to do a little bit better job of defending it down low. 23-18. 4:54 left to go in the first half. Tayshawn to the top of the key to Bowen. Moves into the paint, to the block, to the glass. Scoop shot, good. Nice move that time by Ian as the Breds take a 25-18 advantage with 4:37 on the clock here in the first half. With the basketball, driving to the basket, Blake Reed gets it to Jefferson. Jefferson has the ball knocked away, but he picks up the loose ball. Up top to Reynolds, back to Jefferson, back to Reynolds, in between the circles now to Blake. Long 3 off the flange, no good. Rebound is going to be brought down by Schultz. He'll get it to Jefferson, up top to Blake Reed, and as Blake drives to the basket, he's going to be fouled by Sword. How many offensive rebounds do they have?
Well, they have 4 and 2, 6 offensive rebounds.
Way too many. In the game, Caden Reed returns for Bracken.
That'll help us.
Oh, yeah.
The kid that came out of the game was the one getting the rebounds.
Blake Reed steps up for a free throw, a 65% free throw shooter. First one's on the way in good. Gives him half a dozen points and narrows the gap to 25-19. 4:15 on the clock here in the second quarter. Second free throw is on the way and good as well. As Carpenter will come back into the ball game for Harrison County. 25-20 your score. Thoroughbreds have led by as many as a dozen points. Facing some 2-2-1 3/4 court pressure. Kendall gets the ball inbounds to Bowen. Back to Kendall. Kendall now to the right sideline to Carpenter. Back to Kendall. Get it across the timeline, which they do to Tayshawn. To the left side to Carpenter. Rushes to the block. His shot off the glass is good. Nice drive that time by Carpenter. And Harrison's lead goes back out to 7 at 27-20. 3:55 on the clock now in the first half. Harrison with the lead. Caden Reed up top to Jefferson. Now between the circle to Blake Reed. Blake inside the arc, goes to the block, to the glass. Short! Rebound pulled down by Kendall. And here come the Breds the other way. Kendall to Tayshawn. Tayshawn now in between the circles. Gets it back to Kendall on the wing. In the corner finds Carpenter for 3. No good. Too long. Offside rebound brought down by Bowen, but they're going to say he was pushing off. That's twice they've called that. So we'll walk the other way and shoot some free throws. Stay tuned to halftime for stats and a recap during the Fryman's Hilltop Grill halftime report. Commodore at the line for the first time on the year from the charity stripe. He is 1 for 7. So this will be interesting. He's not centered on the free throw line. He's off to the left some. And makes that one like he's shooting 100% on the season.
You know, we bring out the good foul shooting in people.
Yeah. So Commodore with 3:30 on the clock will shoot his second free throw to try to make it a 5-point game, which he does. Unreal. 1 for 7. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Coming back in the game for Bracken is Schultz. 27-22. Harrison County's lead at 5. Tayshawn receives the inbounds pass from Kendall as Bracken backs off their press. Tayshawn into the front court on the near side of the midcourt circle. On the wing finds Boland. Ian to the top of the key to Biddle. To the left side, long range to Carpenter. Clay now back up top to Kendall for the 3-point try. In and out again. And now coming down with the rebound will be Caden Reed. Caden gets the ball to Blake Reed. Blake at the top of the key, rushes into the paint, gets it into the corner. Here's a 3 try by Jefferson. I think that Garrett Reynolds, and it's good to narrow the gap to just a couple of points at 27-25. Wow. 2:58 left to go here in this first half, but right now the Breds a little bit back on their heels. Of course, Caden Custard, our point guard, on the bench with 2 personal fouls. Kendall with the basketball, and now a whistle away from the ball, and a foul is going to be called on Commodore, who was underneath the basket. Furnish checks back in now for Harrison County's Biddle. From the far sideline near the hash mark, Carpenter gets the ball into the backcourt to Tayshawn. Tayshawn now to Boland in between the circles, falls down. Loose ball picked up by Caden Reed. Caden dishes it off to Schultz, whose layup is good and he's fouled, and has a chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play as the Polar Bears have worked their way back from a 12-point deficit to tie the game. Oh my. Just a good drive that time by Schultz with 2:37 on the clock. Right now, the Polar Bears on a 21-9 run. Schultz at the line for the first time tonight on the year, a 33% free throw shooter. And of course, he drains it. I must be looking at the wrong thing here. Nope, that's the right thing. And the lead goes to the Polar Bears at 28-27. With the basketball, Kendall up top. Gets it to Furnish beyond 3-point range. He drops it, picks it back up. Hands the ball to Carpenter. Carpenter to Tayshawn. Tayshawn at the foul line. No look pass to Furnish, and Furnish lays it in. Furnish's first points. Second basket.
Yeah.
Puts Harrison County back in the lead, 29-28.
Both times he made a heck of a catch.
Yes, both times. with the basketball. Long three, Reed, that's Blake, in and out, no good. Furnish comes down with the rebound. He'll get the ball to Tayshawn, rushing into the front court. Wrap around pass to Carpenter, can't control it, but saving the loose ball. Sword gets the ball down to Furnish, whose layup is no good. Gets his own rebound, no good, but this time he's going to be fouled. Boy, I wish I was 6'11". Foul's going to be called on Blake Reed, his first. I wonder how many times during just an average day that somebody comes along and says to Will, I wish I had your size.
Yeah.
Furnish on the year is 5 for 6, making 6 for 7.
How there's weather up there, stuff like that. Yeah.
Back in the game, Nathan Jefferson returns as the first free throw by Furnish makes it 30-28.
That's the microphone here, not us.
Okay. Second free throw is also good by Furnish as Harrison County goes back up and top by 3, 31-28. Across the timeline, Caden Reed. Caden drives, has the ball back tapped away behind by Custer, but picking up the loose ball is Blake Reed, and as he goes into the paint, he's going to be fouled. That foul is going to be called on J.D. Sword, and that'll be J.D.'s second.
So I thought they weren't supposed to bail out a guy that was out of control.
They're actually not. Blake Reed, 2 for 2 from the line, came in averaging over 25. He has 7 right now. 1:37 left to go on the scoreboard in the first half. First free throw finds its way into the net. With 1:37 left, 31-29 your score. Second free throw bounces out. No good. Down with the rebound, Furnish. Here come the Breads in the front court. Leading by 2. Tayshawn to the top of the key to Kendall. He'll fire a 3. Rims out. Too much spin on it. Furnish with the rebound. Goes back up, no good, but he's going to be fouled. That foul is on Jefferson, his second. Furnish at 6'11", Jefferson at 5'10". Just not a fair fight. Furnish back to the line where he just did hit 2 out of 2. First free throw here is no good, however. He'll have a chance for another one, though, as Garrett Reynolds returns to the floor. Thank you, Mr. Fields.
Yes.
Second free throw by Furnish is good. Drains it. Increasing his team's lead to 32-29.
Blake Reed just went and made a layup.
Blake Reed with his 10th point. Gets his team back to within 1. 32-31 with 1:10 left. Out top, Tayshawn gets the ball to Furnish beyond three-point range to Kendall on the right side. Kendall backs up, gets the ball back to Tayshawn. Tayshawn thought about the 3, then wisely turned it down to Carpenter. Dumps it down the block to Furnish. Out top to Sword for a 3. No good off the flange. Rebound pulled down by Schultz, and here come the Polar Bears trying to retake the lead. 45 seconds left. Blake Reed throws the ball between the hands of Commodore and out of bounds. That pass from about 5 feet away had the velocity to try to get one from 50 yards out.
Now that guy knows how to catch Nolan Ryan's fastball.
Right.
They start at Little League distance.
Tayshawn comes across the timeline. 30 seconds left to go in the half. Kendall drives to the block, and he's going to be fouled by Schultz. That'll be the first foul on Charlie Schultz.
You called it on the floor.
I don't think so.
It's a 1-and-1.
So 1-and-1 as Kendall will go to the line. This will be JD's first attempts of the night on the year. An 83% free throw shooter.
I told you we'd miss those other officials.
You were correct. First free throw by JD is perfect. Puts the Thoroughbreds up 33-31.
Unlike the way it used to be, the girls' officials were very good.
Yes.
And they try to do that now.
Second free throw is off the flange, no good. Schultz comes down with his 7th rebound of this first half. In the front court, Caden Reed, his team down by 2. Lobs to the right side to Schultz. In the corner, open for 3 is Reynolds. No. Rebound batted around and Furnish, being that he's so far up there, grabs the rebound because no Bracken County Polar Bear could reach that high. 9 seconds left. Kendall with the basketball drops it, but it's because he's fouled, and he'll go to the line with 6 seconds left. Foul on Schultz, and that'll be Charlie Schultz's second. So JD at the line with 6 seconds left for 1 in the bonus. His team up by 2. First one's on the way and perfect. Boy, he's got a nice form on his free throw.
Yes, he does.
34-31 as Gunnar Cole checks back in for the final 6 seconds. Getting J.D. Sword out of there. Remember, J.D. with a couple of personal fouls. Don't want to pick up a cheap one.
Third one. That's right.
Second free throw by Kendall is also good.
Of course, Gunnar also has it, too.
This is true. 35-31, 6 seconds left. Caden Reed in the paint, stops and pops from 14, good.
Gosh.
We just let him have that one, and that is the way that the first half will end with your score. Harrison County 35, Bracken County, though, right there with 33. It's a good one from the Hilltop here tonight. We invite you to stay tuned now for our halftime show brought to you by Fryman's Hilltop Grill. We'll go over all the scoring and stats from this first half. That coming up right after this timeout. But once again, from here on the Hilltop, your halftime score, Harrison County 35, Bracken County 33. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, Harrison County right now with the slimmest of leads at 35-33. Thoroughbreds got out in front quickly in this game, going on an 11-0 run towards the end of the first quarter to take at that time an 18-6 lead. But then the Polar Bears came fighting all the way back, going on what ended up being a 22-9 run, which put them ahead 28-27, but then the Thoroughbreds were able to correct things a little bit, but still only lead by 2 going into the halftime locker room. Taking a look at the scoring, first for Bracken County, they already have one player in double figures with Blake Reed with 10 points, 8 of those coming in the comeback rally in the second quarter. 6 points each for both Charlie Schultz and Nathan Jefferson, 5 points for Garrett Reynolds, 4 for Caden Reed. A couple of points as well for Jashad Commodore. The only player who got in the game but did not score was Dylan Teagarden, and he wasn't in there for very long at all. Meanwhile, for the Thoroughbreds, both J.D. Kendall and Will Furnish have 7 points apiece here at the break. Actually, our leading scorer is J.D. Sword with 9, including 3 Kellyan's Pizza 3-pointers. So 9 for J.D. Sword, 7 for J.D. Kendall, and 7 for Will Furnish. 4 points each for both Clay Carpenter and Ian Boland. A couple of points as well for Caden Custard, who sat quite a bit of the first half in foul trouble. Also at 2 points, Blaine Biddle, who got the start tonight. Getting in there but not scoring, Gunnar Cole and Tayshawn Custard. That's the way the individual numbers look. We'll be back and have Mike take a look at the team stats following this timeout. We'll be right back with more of the Hilltop Grill halftime report right here on WCYN Sports.
The Thoroughbreds leading Bracken County 35-33 for the second part of the Fireman's Hilltop Grill halftime report. The Thoroughbreds shot the ball 25 times, made 13 of them for 52%. They were 3 out of 8 from the three-point line for 37.5%. 6 out of 8 from the foul line, all in the second quarter, for 75%. 4 turnovers and 11 rebounds, 9 defensive and just 2 offensive rebounds. For Bracken County, they shot the ball 28 times, which is 3 more than we did, made 12 of them for 43%. They also had 3 3-pointers, 3 out of 9 for 33%. They shot 9 free throws, made 6 for 67%. They had 6 turnovers, 12 rebounds. They've out-rebalanced by 1. They have 6 defensive and 6 offensive rebounds. So the game's really, of course, you think a 2-point game would be really even statistically, and it is.
And otherwise.
Yes. So it's, we just got to do a better job of keeping them off the offensive boards.
Yes. Well, there's no excuse. I mean, gosh, we're at least 3 or 4 inches taller than them at each position.
We look like we're waiting for somebody else to do it.
Yeah, you're right. But that's got to change and will change, I'm sure, if Coach has anything to say.
Probably. They're out here already warming up. So.
All right, we'll be right back with more halftime of the Hilltop Grill report right here on WCYN Sports. Your score, Harrison County 35, Bracken 33. You've been listening to the Hilltop Grill halftime report from Fryman's Hilltop Grill. We'll be back after this timeout. You're listening to WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, Harrison County up by just a single field goal against a Bracken County team that came back from an 18-6 deficit when they weren't hitting anything at all. But once they started hitting, they started driving and making shots, and we just backed off on it. So we'll need, as you said, to be more aggressive on the defensive side coming out here in the second half. The Reds will be back in action tomorrow night, in fact, as they'll host the Pirates of Powell County here on the Hilltop. On Friday, the home stretch continues as we'll host the Warhawks of Great Crossing. See how the Warhawks are doing. And then on Monday, a girl-boy doubleheader in Maysville at St. Patrick. The boys, the Thoroughbreds, will be the back half of that doubleheader. Meanwhile, the Phillies, who lost earlier tonight, they'll be back in action on Wednesday here on the Hilltop against Beechwood. That's only a varsity game that'll start at 6:30. So just one game against Beechwood here on the Hilltop at 6:30 on Wednesday. The Phillies will visit Bourbon County on Saturday. That game scheduled to start at 4:30. And then there'll be the front half of that girl-boy doubleheader against St. Pat on Monday. On Wednesday, the wrestling team will be at the Bourbon County, or will be at Bourbon County for the county line duel. And then our wrestling teams will go to Franklin County on Saturday for the Capital City Classic.
You sure the girls are at Bourbon? It says on the schedule they're here.
Oh, schedule I have says it's there. So
I just looked at KHSA one just then.
Oh, okay.
Of course, I could be wrong.
I'll have to recheck that. J.D. Kendall, a hook shot inside is missed, and Nathan Jefferson gets the rebound. So up the floor come the Polar Bears trying to take the lead. Handoff is to Caden Reed. He'll bring it to the near side of the midcourt circle. Moves to the top of the key, to the elbow, to the block, to the glass. His layup is missed. Rebound pulled down by J.D. Sword, and here come the Breds in a hurry. J.D., a floater in the lane from 13, good. Well, it's a 4-point turnaround there as Harrison County goes up 37-33 on the leaner by J.D. Sword. 7:14 left here in the third quarter. Caden Jefferson gets it out top to Nathan Jefferson. Now in the corner, he'll find Reynolds. Reynolds in the paint, nearly fell down. Now backs up, puts up a 12-footer and misses it. Caden Custard with the rebound. Almost turned it over himself. Caden almost turned it over again. But they're going to get a push-off foul on Caden Reed. That'll be Caden Reed's second. He joins Charlie Schultz and Nathan Jefferson with 2 fouls apiece for the Polar Bears.
On that offensive move there, Kendall did fall down.
Yeah.
And he missed it. Still missed a blank, wide open 8-footer.
Sometimes the easiest shots are the hardest ones to make.
Yeah, once you get to be real open.
Custard with the basketball near the timeline. Gets it to the right wing, long range to Carpenter. Clay looks inside, now gets it back to Kendall at the top of the key. To the left side to Sword. Sword moves into the paint, another leaner from 12, good! Little dewdrop stop shot there by JD, he has 13. And Harrison County's lead grows to 39-33. Into the front court with the basketball with just under 6.5 minutes left. Will be Caden Reed. He'll get the ball to Jefferson. Jefferson drives, puts a shot around Biddle, no good. Kendall with the rebound. He'll bring the ball into the front court himself. Kendall stops at the left wing, gets it to Custard, down low to Biddle. Biddle takes a dribble, hook shot no good, but he's going to be fouled by Reynolds. That was a nice basketball move that time by Blaine. That's when you see that he's going to the NBA.
On the floor again. He called that on the floor.
I don't get it. That's at least 3 times that.
Well, yeah, he misses them pretty regularly.
Yeah. Well, at least he's being consistent,
That's
I suppose.
I guess so. Yeah.
Kendall from his own baseline, opposite side of the basket, gets on the wing to Carpenter. Carpenter back to Kendall in the paint, turnaround jumper, too hard off the glass. Rebound is going to be brought in by Caden Reed.
That wasn't a good shot.
No, too off balance. Caden into the front court, moves between the circles to the elbow, gets it down on the block to Jefferson, who puts it up and in. Nathan Jefferson pulls his team back to within 4 at 39-35 with that layup. 5:45 left to go here in the third.
Their halftime halftime message must have been take the ball in.
Yeah. Jashad Commodore just committed his second foul, so 4 Polar Bears with 2 personal fouls each. Kendall will inbounds it from the midcourt stripe on the sideline opposite us. Gets it to Custard. Custard calls out the play as he surveys the Bracken County defense. He'll get it to Kendall on the left side, long range in front of his own bench to Carpenter, back out top to Custard. Caden now at the top of the key, backs up, Now races into the paint, to the block, to the glass, and they're going to wave it off and say he pushed off. No, an illegal screen on Blaine.
This guy's really good at stuff that don't make any difference.
Well, and plus he's calling it from 20 feet away while the official that's closest to us not calling anything at all.
I knew we wished we'd had those other guys.
Yeah, you were right. I should have believed you.
Yeah.
Caden Reed across the timeline. His team down by 4. 3 minutes into this third quarter. To the top of the key to Blake Reed. Blake backs up and now fires an off-balance three-pointer that doesn't hit anything. Nathan Jefferson saves it from going out of bounds, but retrieving the loose ball is Caden Custard, who falls down. Loose ball on the floor, picked up by Commodore. Commodore to Reynolds. Reynolds in the paint. Has the ball taken away by Caden Custard, who bounces it off of the arm of Nathan Jefferson. But Caden was standing on the inline, so Bracken County will maintain possession as Will Furnish checks back in.
And see, now we got this guy, Jefferson talking. Caden threw the ball off of him.
Yeah, it was a basketball play.
And now you got him talking and the little referee getting in the middle of it.
Yeah. From his own baseline, Blake Reed to trigger the inbounds pass. He'll lob it up top to Caden Reed. Fakes the three, backs up, and resets the offense from the left side, long range. He fires a three here. Good. Caden Reed with his first tray of the game. And Harrison County's lead is back down to 1 at 39-38. 4.5 left to go here in the third quarter. In the front court, Sword up top to Furnish, to the right side to Carpenter, long range. Carpenter, skip pass to the near side to Caden. He'll fire a three from there. Off the front of the rim, no good. Blake Reed down with the rebound, and here come the Polar Bears trying to take the lead. Caden Reed at the left elbow, backs it back out again to the left side to Blake Reed. Blake picked up quickly defensively by Sword, gets it back inside the center circle to Caden Reed. Caden to the top of the key to Blake Reed. Back to Caden Reed left side. A little two-man game between the brothers. Caden Reed goes underneath the basket, kicks it to the elbow to Jefferson, who bounces the ball off of Kendall's leg out of bounds. So Bracken will maintain possession. Need to feed a hungry crew fast? Order a Beast Pizza right now. Don't forget about wings and salads, too. Call 235-7627 right now. That's 235. Yep. Trent said snap. From the far corner, Caden Reed will inbounds the ball. His team down by 1 midway through this third quarter. He'll get it out to Jefferson. Jefferson takes a couple of dribbles, now gets it back to Caden Reed, who will step inside the center circle. 8th grader to the top of the key to Blake Reed. Blake Reed trying to dribble around Sword, but JD staying right with him. Gets it to the top of the key to Reynolds. Reynolds from the left elbow goes down to the block, cut off by Custard. Gets it on the wing to Caden Reed. Caden Reed backs up to reset the offense. Good defense by the Breads this time down the floor. Caden Reed rushes, has his shot blocked by Furnish. Carpenter with the rebound, and here come the Thoroughbreds the other way. Leaner from 5 by Carpenter's no good. Commodore with the rebound. Outlet pass to Caden Reed all alone the other way, lays it up and in. And the Bracken County Polar Bears have taken the lead at 40-39. Timeout called by Bracken County, and the Polar Bears, Mike, just will not go away.
No, and we help them when we get out of control, go down there and throw something up that, we need to make sure we get, there's any coach will tell you that you got to protect your possessions.
Yes.
You can't just throw a possession away because you don't get that many of them. And we had a fall away hook shot and then a fling up coming in there, and you can't do that.
You need someone to protect your home, auto, and more like they're protecting the rim? That's when you call Dan Furnish. Call Dan with any questions about insurance coverage at 234-4514. That's 234-4514. Out of the timeout, the Breads down by 1. We'll get the ball. We've had 3 ties now and 4 lead changes in this game. Inbounds pass comes to Custard. Custard back to Kendall, who will bring the ball across the timeline on the far side of that midcourt circle. Gets it back between the circles to Custard in the front court. To the top of the key to Furnish. Dumps it down low to Kendall in the corner to Carpenter for 3. Yes! There's another Killian's Pizza three-pointer. This time delivered by Clay Carpenter. And Harrison County is back to a lead of 42-40.
If we play in the offense, we can do that stuff.
2:53 left to go in the third quarter. Out top with the basketball, Caden Reed. Looks to his right to Coach Reed to get the signal he wants. Now moves to the left side, reverses, gets it to Blake Reed on the right side. Blake traveled, no call. Up top finds Commodore, steps inside the arc. To the right side to Reynolds for a three-pointer. Bounces high off the rim twice, 3 times, no good. And they're going to say it hit the guide wire. So Harrison will get the ball back. Kendall will inbounds the ball. Just like the Breads and Phillies delivering three-pointers, Kellyan's Pizza can deliver to you tonight. Call 298-2048 to place your order. Also available for pickup in the Bridge Street Plaza. Kendall with the basketball at the top of the key, gets the ball to Furnish. Furnish hands the ball to Sword, to the right side to Caden Custard for a three, and no. Rebound pulled down by Kendall. Kendall goes back up and good. 9 points for JD, 44-40. Harrison County up on the putback with 1:59 left to go in this third quarter. Now Commodore tries to split the Harrison defense, and he's going to be fouled by Kendall. With JD's first as Charlie Schultz returns to the floor for Bracken County.
Just kind of glad he took that guy out. He and Claver, he was initiating it, but he and Claver kind of bumping each other.
Yeah,
That's good.
All right, we're going to have a 30-second timeout called by Harrison County, as Coach Brooks must have seen something he didn't like out there. But in any case, Harrison up 44-40, and we knew it was going to be a tussle, and it's been that way ever since the very start.
Yeah, we've actually done a better job this half keeping them off the boards. They only have one offensive. They don't have any offensive rebounds. We have one in this half. So we're doing a better job of getting them off the boards, which I'm sure, was, like you say, was mentioned some at halftime.
Remind you that if you are inside, you need to have a mask on. The mask covers the nose and the mouth. We will not put the ball in play until everyone has a mask on. If you're a player, fine. Coaches need masks. Fans need masks. Everybody needs to have a mask on.
Brad Allison making an announcement that everybody should be wearing a mask. Yeah. Out of the timeout, Bracken County with the basketball from the far sideline at the time stripe. Nathan Jefferson will get it inbounds.
Thank you very much.
So we'll get back to play here. Harrison County up 44-40, under 2 to go in the third quarter. We still got loads of time in this basketball game. Inbounds pass will come to Caden Reed, who will bring it up the floor and be met by Caden Custard at the midcourt stripe. Pass to the foul line to Commodore. He was open but didn't take the shot. Commodore backs up, thinks about the shot again, turns it down, gets to Blake Reed on the left side. J.D. Sword's done a wonderful job on Blake Reed. Blake Reed drives, kicks it to Jefferson, up top to Commodore for three, short. Rebound is chased down by Sword. And here come the Breads with that 4-point lead. Baseball pass to Caden Custard, very dangerous, but Caden catches it. In the corner finds J.D. Kendall. Kendall to the wing, now inside the center circle to Sword. Sword now will get the ball to the far hash mark to Custard, who will bring it back to the midcourt circle to restart the offense. Hands it off to J.D. Kendall. Kendall between the legs, dribble to the left side to Furnish. Long range, he'll hand the ball to Carpenter. And now we're going to have an illegal screen set by Furnish. And that'll be Furnish's second personal foul. Now that was probably legit.
Yeah.
Can't be moving your feet. Yeah, he got caught off balance, so he couldn't set his feet. So down by 4 with 1:06 left to go. Harrison County will go to defense. That's Will Furnish's third personal foul.
We've got two coaches with their mask off here, and they're just...
Across the timeline with the basketball is Blake Reed. Reed staring down. Sword flies past him to the block. Has a shot blocked there by Furnish. That's 5 blocks for Will tonight to go along with his 7 points and 5 rebounds. So having a very good night off the bench. Maybe that's the key for Will. Get him a chance to kind of get into the game before actually getting into the game. Pass up top to Jefferson for 3. Rims out. Carpenter, the only white shirt underneath the basket, gets the rebound. Diagonal pass to Sword, who goes to the basket. His shot's no good. Rebound picked up by Caden Custard. He'll get it to Kendall. Down low to Furnish. Hook shot good. Will Furnish puts his team up 46-40 with that hook.
Big offensive rebound
huge.
there.
34 seconds left to go in the quarter. Down by 6. Bracken with the basketball. In between the circles is Blake Reed. To Caden Reed, fakes the 3, backs it back up again. Our size is really giving them fits. They just can't get off those 3-point attempts. Caden Reed trying to get around Custard, using a screen now, an off-balance shot from the foul line, but the foul came before the shot. So just a common foul on Caden Custard, and for Caden, that'll be his third. He'll join Furnish with 3 personal fouls. 14 seconds on the clock. Right now, the Thoroughbreds up 46-40, have scored the last 7 in a row. Here's a pass up top to Jefferson. Jefferson now dribbles inside the arc on the right side, gets it back between the circles to Caden Reed. He'll fire a 3-pointer. Good. Daggone it. Second tray of the third quarter by Caden Reed. 2 seconds left. Carpenter, midcourt shot at the buzzer. No. So at the end of 3 quarters of play, your score: Harrison County 46, Bracken County 43. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, another tight one for the Thoroughbreds, and we talked earlier before about how Harrison County has a decided edge in the overall series, 66-24. 43 of the 90 games that we've played against the Polar Bears have been decided by 10 points or less, so nearly half the games, even though Harrison County has won them, have been close. In fact, in games decided by 10 points or less over the years, Harrison's record against Bracken, 26-17. Down by 3, Bracken will get the ball to begin this third quarter. Here's a 3 by Caden Reed, very short. With the rebound, Caden Custer, 2-on-2 break. Caden has the ball knocked away from behind, gets the loose ball, dishes it off to Sword, who puts it up and in. Boy, sometimes the ball just bounces the right way, and that was one of them there. Harrison now up 48-43. Opening moments of the fourth quarter. There's a shot put up no good by Bracken, and it goes off the hands of a diving Blake Reed. Out of bounds, so Harrison will get the ball back.
Well, I was close when that guy underneath the bench. Baskets guy's been calling all those fouls, and we kind of went over his back there a little bit, but he didn't see it that way.
Caden Custer will walk the ball up the floor and get the ball to Kendall in the front court. Kendall at the top of the key, spins, being really mugged by Commodore. No call, gets it on the block to Caden. His shot's no good, but he's fouled. Probably not the best of shots, but he'll go to the line. Foul's going to be called on Commodore. That'll be Commodore's third. So Caden Custard at the line for the first time tonight. Custard on the year, a 71% free throw shooter. He has but 2 points. First free throw is perfect.
His first free throws in the second half for
Really?
the team.
So extends the lead to 49-43 with 7:15 on the clock. Second free throw also good by Caden, as the freshman will put his team up 50-43. 7-point lead, 7:11 left. Still lots of time for Bracken. At the top of the key, Blake Reed moves to the left elbow, goes down to the block, and I think he was trying to pass the ball, but he's going to be fouled, and that foul is going to be called on Biddle. That'll be Blaine's second personal foul, and send Blake Reed to the line, where he's 3 for 4. Has 10 points, all 10 points coming in the second quarter. Came in averaging over 25, so we've really shut him down so far. First free throw is good to give him 11 points. It's one of those kids that's going to score about 18 and have a bad night. 7:03 on the clock. Second free throw's also good.
JD's making everything hard for him to do.
Yes, just because of his size.
Yeah.
50-45, Harrison County's lead back to 5, as we can't shake the Polar Bears. We had 3 ties and 5 lead changes throughout the game. Kendall on the right wing. Up top to Custard, to the left side to Sword. Sword back up top to Custard again. Custard drives to the block, stops, puts one off the glass, and good. Nice drive that time by Caden, as Harrison County's lead goes back to 52-45. After the layup, 6:30 4:33 left. From the left elbow, Caden Reed. Back out top to Blake Reed near the center circle. Blake moves to the left side, and before he can fire a three, a moving screen that time set by Schultz. And that'll be three by Schultz. So Harrison County with the ball back, leading 52-45. Kendall will inbounds the ball in the corner to Sword. He'll fire a three. No good off the flange, but going to get chased down the rebound is Blaine Biddle. He'll get it back out top. With the ball now, Kendall on the far side of the midcourt circle. Gets it inside the center circle to Custard. Caden being harassed by Caden Reed. Gets to the top of the key to Kendall for three. Rims out. And on the rebound, we're going to have a foul called on Clay Carpenter. That'll be Clay's first. Visit Fryman's Hilltop Grill for daily specials Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. You can call ahead for quick pickup by dialing 234-1797. Across the timeline with the basketball comes Blake Reed. He'll hand it off to Commodore. Commodore in between the circles now to Schultz. Schultz to Caden Reed. Long range now goes down to the baseline. Underneath the basket, reverse layup is no good. Schultz, though, is there for the rebound. He'll get it back up top to Commodore. Commodore just dribbling around right now, goes into the paint, fakes a pass, has a shot blocked by Biddle, and Carpenter is standing on the baseline as he catches the deflected ball. So the Polar Bears will maintain possession. Bracken trailed by as many as 12 early in the game, now down by 7. Blake Reed, right side, fires a three-pointer. Good. Blake Reed with his second tray of the game, and Harrison County's lead back to 4 at 52-48. After the Blake Reed three-pointer, 5:21 on the clock. Across timeline comes Caden Custer, behind the back dribble, moves to the foul line. Now backs up, Caden Reed gets it back up top to Sword for three off the front of the rim, no good. And Blake Reed gets the rebound, and here come the Polar Bears, and a steal by Sword on a diagonal pass. JD like a linebacker catching that ball. Now as he goes to the paint, he's going to be fouled before he gets to the rim. That foul is on Schultz, and that'll be Charlie Schultz's fourth. After the common foul, Carpenter from his own baseline will trigger the inbounds pass. 52-48, Bread's lead, 5:01 left in this tight contest. Carpenter gets it in the corner to Kendall, out top now to Sword, now in between the circles to Custer, to the left side to Carpenter, down in the block to Biddle. Kicks it back up top to Sword for three, no. Rebound is going to be picked up by Caden Reed. Outlet pass to Commodore, who lays it up and in. And the Polar Bears are back to within 2 at 52-50. Come on, Thoroughbreds.
They're settling for three-pointers.
4:37 on the clock. With the basketball, Kendall in the front court. Kendall being harassed out there by Jefferson. Crossover dribble. Now pushes off, no call. Top of key, Custard. Custard has the ball flicked away from behind by Caden Reed, but Harrison will maintain possession. Back in the game, Reynolds returns for Bracken. Just like the Breads and Phillies delivering three-pointers, Killian's Pizza can deliver to you tonight. Call 298-2048 to place your order. Also available for pickup in the Bridge Street Plaza. Timeout on the floor, we'll take it as well. 4:20 left, your score. Harrison County 52, Bracken County 50. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. Here at the Hilltop, Harrison County up by just a deuce as the last 5 points have been scored by the Polar Bears. Out of the timeout, Harrison County will have the basketball. Kendall will inbounds it to Caden Custard. See what play Coach Brooks called in the huddle. Caden with the ball on his hip inside the center circle. Looks like the Breds are going to take some time. Clock nearing the 4-minute mark. Here's a pass to the right wing to Carpenter. Carpenter backs up himself against Blake Reed, drives and has the ball back tapped away from behind by Blake Reed, but Harrison will maintain possession. Carpenter will trigger the inbounds pass. Play looking, gets it to Kendall. Kendall back out top to Sword. Sword has the ball deflected, but JD gets the loose ball, goes in the paint, 12-footer, good! JD with another clutch shot, he has 17. As the Breds go back up by 2 possessions, 54-50 off that 12-footer. 3:46 left here in the game. In the corner, Reynolds drives into the paint. Off-balance shot, no good. Rebound, put back, no good by Jefferson. And coming down with the next board is Biddle. Big rebound that time by Blaine. He'll get the ball to Kendall, who will bring the ball into the front court. Kendall hands the ball to Custard. Custard nearly had it taken away by Caden Reed, now moves into the paint. Gets it in the corner to Sword. Sword drives baseline, gets it to Biddle. His shot off the glass is no good, but Carpenter is there for the rebound. He'll get it in the paint to Custard. Custard from the block, shot no, but he's fouled. And we'll go to the line for 2. Exciting game here on the Hilltop in the second of this girl-boy doubleheader. Fouls on Reynolds, and that'll be his second. So Caden Custard to the line, where he's 2 for 2 tonight. Coach Adam Reed not real happy with the officiating. First free throw by the freshman is good. Nothing but net. Wonder who wins the free throw shooting contest between Caden and Keeley.
No. Be pretty even, I expect.
I'll bet it would be. Yeah. Second free throw at the 3:10 mark is going to bounce off. Rebound pulled down by Reynolds. And into the front court. Here come the Polar Bears, trailing by 5. Top of the key, Caden Reed moves inside the arc, goes down to the block, double team, tries a pass, blocked and stolen by Biddle. Outlet pass to Sword, to the basket, no. Carpenter, rebound, put back, yes! Andy is fouled, and Caden is going, or Clay Carpenter is going to have a chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play. Nice. Reynolds will pick up his foul, and another 4-point turnaround there. Free throw by Carpenter coming up on the air. Clay is a 1 for 2, making 2 for 3. Makes it a 58-50 Harrison County lead, and timeout on the floor. 2:53 left to go. Your score: Harrison County 58, Bracken County 50, and you can kind of feel momentum coming back our side, Mike.
Yeah, we went for a streak there where we shot 4 threes in a row. Didn't make any of them. But then we started penetrating, and I think good things happen. So we got to stop. They've thrown the ball away 3 times this quarter, which doesn't sound like much, but they only had 1 turnover in the third quarter and only have 10 for the game. So a third of their turnovers that came in right here in this first 4 minutes of this quarter. So, and we haven't made any turnovers in this quarter. So that's big. Rebounding's pretty even. Shooting's fairly even. Just I think we're getting some big plays.
Yes. 6 straight points have been scored by the Thoroughbreds to get this 8-point lead, but still with 2:53 left, it's anybody's ball game. Blake Reed, who has 15 points on the night, 10 below his season's average, in the front court to Caden Reed. Caden Reed at the top of the key to the left side to Blake Reed. NBA 3 try, rattles in there, good. Third tray of the night for Blake Reed. And just like that, Harrison County's lead back down to just 5 at 58-53. 2:30 left. Into the front court with the basketball, Boland, who's back in the game. Dishes it on the baseline to Carpenter. 15-footer, no. Too quick a shot probably. Commodore comes down with the rebound, and here come the Polar Bears. Blake Reed on the run. Stops and pops from 3-point range, no. Rebound pulled down by Custard, and Caden wants to run. 3-on-2 break. Ball knocked away. Caden with the loose ball from the block. Knocks down his defender, and the turnover will give the ball back to Bracken County. That foul will be Caden's 4th, and that's huge. You just can't duck that shoulder. They'll call it every time. Charlie Schultz back in the game now for Bracken. With 2:07 left, Harrison leading 58-53, but Bracken with the basketball.
They got their big offensive rebounding group in now that they can Commodore out, having Schultz come in and stay with 22.
Caden Reed will bring the ball into the front court. Brings it to the right wing, now moves to the top of the key, now to the right elbow. Now to Blake Reed for another NBA 3 try. This one's an air ball. Trying to save the ball from going out of bounds was Jefferson, but unsuccessful. One of these days, Blake Reed, who's just a freshman, is going to start burying just about everything he throws up, but right now he's a little impatient. Against full court pressure, inbounds pass from Kendall comes to Custard, back to Kendall. And the Polar Bear defense will back off. Under 2 to go, Harrison up by 5 and with the basketball. JD picks up the dribble, gets it to the left side to Sword. Sword from the right elbow to Carpenter. Carpenter in the paint, drops the ball, but Custard is there to pick it up. He'll bring it back on the left wing.
We need to play within ourselves.
Yeah. Custard now will be fouled out top by Blake Reed, and that'll be his second. With 1:31 on the clock, Caden Custard going to the line where he is 3 for 4 tonight.
Caden Custard at the line for Harrison County.
Remember, Harrison County has won 20 straight games at home against Bracken County and 29 of the last 30. Free throw up, free throw good. Extends the lead to 59-53.
It's a big free throw here.
Huge.
Make it where 2 threes won't tie us.
Second free throw by the freshman is also good. 60-53. And now the Polar Bears are going to have to hurry a little. Blake Reed goes into the paint. 5-footer, no. Boland with the rebound. As he comes up the floor, he's going to be fouled. Fouls on Caden Reed. That'll be Caden Reed's third.
With a double bonus.
So 2 shots coming up for Boland, who is 0 for 1 from the line tonight.
He's the leading free throw shooter on the team last year. 81%, I think.
Couldn't hardly beat that. First free throw is good. Extends Harrison's lead back out to 8. 61-53. 1:22 on the clock. Second free throw is no good. Rebound being chased after, and it's going to be a scrum. And finally, a timeout called by Bracken County as Nathan Jefferson, who's shaken up on the play, just barely got it out of there. We'll take it as well. 1:17 left to go. Your score, Harrison 61, Bracken 53. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, Harrison County, a mini run of 9-3 to take what was a 2-point ball game just 3 minutes ago, up to 8 with a $1:17 left. But Bracken has the basketball, and we know how quickly they can catch up if they hit a couple of threes. Inbounds pass comes to Caden Reed. He has a couple of those trays tonight. His brother Blake with 3. Caden in the paint, a leaner from 15, no! Rebound pulled down by Carpenter, and the Breds starting to sniff a little bit of the sign of victory. Kendall across the timeline, gets on the left side to Sword, and a foul on Bracken. That'll be on Blake Reed, and that'll be Blake Reed's third. Going to the line, as we are in the double bonus, will be J.D. Kendall. Kendall 3 for 4 from the line tonight, has 9 points. If he can make these 2 free throws, he'll match his season's average. First one by the sophomore is good. 62-53 with exactly 1 minute left to go. Second free throw by Kendall is also good. 63-53. Harrison's largest lead was a dozen back in the first quarter. Blake Reed drops the ball. Loose ball picked up by Caden Custard. Outlet pass to Sword, who puts it up and in. Sword with 19 points. And Harrison County up by their biggest margin, 65-63. Just 40 seconds to go, and then once again, Bracken loses the basketballs. They're just trying to rush too much, which they have to now, down by a dozen. 36 seconds left, and Caden Custer with the basketball. Harrison County can afford now just to make Bracken County come racing towards us, and it looks as though the Polar Bears are going to be resigned to the fact that they're going to go back home empty after a good effort. But in the end, Harrison County was the ones able to make the plays. Unlike the Campbell County game, where down the stretch we faltered. Just 13 seconds left. The Breads will improve on the season to 2-3, while Bracken will drop to 2-5. Good win for our guys. Very good win for the Thoroughbreds in this close contest against a better than advertised Bracken County Polar Bear team. We invite you to stay tuned now as we'll take a break, after which we'll come back with the post-game show brought to you by Dustin Rose out at Farm Bureau. We'll go over all the scoring and stats and name our Judy Construction Company player of the game, as well as have a chat with Coach Brooks and get his thoughts on tonight's victory. But once again, from here on the hilltop, your final score, Harrison County 65, Bracken County 53. You've been listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, the Harrison County Thoroughbreds come away with an exciting 65-53 victory over a very game Bracken County squad that just would not go away and stayed with us toe-to-toe up until about the last 4.5 minutes when Harrison was able to pull away and Bracken missed some threes that they normally, I think, would make, but because they only have a rotation of 7, might have gotten their legs a bit tired. But in any case, Harrison ends the game on a 13-3 run to take what was just a 2-point advantage with 4.5 minutes left to turn it into a 12-point victory. Those 12 points matching the largest lead that Harrison County had in the game, which was only one other time. So, yeah, Bracken County did well, but just could not pull it out. Thoroughbreds started out the game, as we said, very hot, scoring 11 points in a row midway through the first quarter to take an 18-6 lead. That lead would disappear on a 22-9 run by the Polar Bears, which gave them a 28-27 lead. The game was back and forth up until Harrison County had that 52-50 lead with 4.5 minutes left, and then ended up the game on a good kick to win by a dozen points and come away with their second win in their last, get this around here, 5 games. I don't know why I do that to myself. But joined now by Coach Brooks, and Coach, unlike the game against Campbell County, Harrison County in this game made the plays they needed to win.
Yeah, we did. I think we took Bracken County for granted and came out, underestimated them a little bit, and dug ourselves a hole. We came out early and played well, scored and got us a lead. And we didn't have probably the support coming off the bench like we did at Campbell County and playing with some confidence. And we let them hang around at halftime, and we gave them a little confidence, and so it was a dogfight the rest of the night, and the one thing they may be small, but they got some kids who can shoot the ball and put the ball in the basket. Yeah. And I don't think we defended well on the perimeter with our guards tonight, but the bright spot tonight was Blaine and Will really worked hard inside. We got them the ball inside, and both of them look like two different players from the first 4 games that we played.
Yeah, I had if you combine their numbers in the post position, 11 points and 7 rebounds and 6 blocks. That's a good night.
That's a good night, and we met with both of those guys yesterday at practice, and I guess you saw that we put Blaine in the starting lineup to give him an opportunity, and they both came out. We met with both of them yesterday. That they both came out and worked hard yesterday in practice. They didn't pout around. And it showed tonight. They were ready to play, and we said we were going to get the ball inside early and often, and we did that, and they made things happen.
Of course, early on, Caden got into foul trouble, which meant that you couldn't have your point man out there. But I thought that the other kids rallied around and did what they needed to keep Harrison County in the lead.
They did. Tay made some good moves early when he came in for Caden. He's quick enough to get to his spot whenever he wants to. He wasn't here yesterday at practice. He was gone this weekend to a football showcase, and so he was a step slow, I thought, and didn't have some confidence early. And then when the game got tight, I just felt like Caden was smart enough to play through having 3 or 4 fouls, and so we left him on the floor because he was making things happen. Even though he wasn't scoring, he still was getting the ball where it needed to go.
Right. J.D. Sword, a second consecutive big game, 19 points, 3 three-pointers, and Clay Carpenter, 10 points. So finally we got J.D. and Clay both playing well together.
Right. J.D., I think how hard J.D. is having to play on defense is taken away from some of his scoring. He still had some open looks and didn't knock them down, but he's defending the best player every single night for us. And he's doing, they're running him off screens, and he played the whole second half without a break. So we're going to have to get somebody behind him that can give him a break, and we're not losing that scoring potential when we take him out of the game.
Blake Reed, the person that J.D. was guarding, he had 18 points, but still he had to work for every single one of them.
Right. Yeah, J.D. did a good job. We want him to play a little tougher on the catches. I think he gets tired, and so he allows his man to catch the ball. Then he has to work extra hard, because now they run him off screens or ball screens or, taking away driving lanes. So we have to do a better job of finding somebody behind him I didn't think we had anybody that came in and played with confidence to give him a break the second half. And again, he was scoring, so it's hard to take him off the floor.
Yeah, and once again, it's just so nice to have big people underneath the 6'11" and 6'6", and as short as Bracken County was, anytime they got within 15, they were having to adjust their shots.
Yeah, they were, and that's another thing we had to work better with Will and Blaine. They have the length to block shots. It's all about moving their feet and getting in front. Sometimes it's blocking the shot, but sometimes it's just getting there and walling up.
Right.
And I thought second half we picked up some silly fouls because we didn't move our feet. We were standing there reaching, trying to block shots. So, just little adjustments. We tell them every day in practice and every time after a game, the things that we're not doing well are all fixable things that are going to help us win ball games down the stretch.
Don't get much time to enjoy this victory. Got Powell County coming in tomorrow night and another tough opponent.
Yeah, we have less than 24 hours for our next game, and I think that's a good thing. It'll show how we deal with adversity.
Right.
They're not in school, so they're going to be probably staying up late tonight anyway and sleeping late tomorrow. So glad we have a JV game so some other kids can get an opportunity to play, and but the varsity needs to come back ready to play and ready to be hitting on all cylinders tomorrow.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the victory, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night.
Thanks for having me.
Head thoroughbred basketball coach Terrence Brooks after Harrison County's 65-53 win over Bracken County here on the Hilltop. We'll take a break, come back, and go over the scoring. Right after this, you've been listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sport.
During this time.
All righty, back here at the Hilltop, let's take a look at the individual scoring. First for Bracken County, as we said, dropping now to 2-5 on the year. They placed two players in double figures, led by Blake Reed's 18, but he had to work for all of them. He included 3 3-pointers, 12 points. For Caden Reed, he had a couple of trays himself. 8 points on the night for Nathan Jefferson, 6 for Charlie Schultz, 5 for Garrett Reynolds, and 4 for Jashad Commodore. The only player who got in the game but did not score for Bracken was Dylan Teagarden, who played maybe a minute in the first half. Meanwhile, for the Thoroughbreds, 3 players score in double figures tonight, led by J.D. Swords, 19. 11 points for J.D. Kendall, 10 points for Clay Carpenter, who also grabbed 9 boards, 9 points each for both Caden Custard and Will Furnish as well. Ian Bowen came off the bench for 5 points, and a couple of points were scored as well for Blaine Biddle. Getting into the game but not scoring, Gunnar Cole and Tayshawn Custard. That's the way the individual numbers look. We'll take our final break and come back and have Mike take a look at the team stats as well as name our Judy Construction Company player of the game. That coming up after this timeout. You've been listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sport. All right, back here at the Hilltop, we've gone over the individual numbers. How did the team stats look there, Mike?
Well, the team stats are fairly even, though there's a couple of big places where we outdid them. And one of them was the free throw line where we shot 19 foul shots. They shot 11. We made 15 out of 19 for 79%. They made 8 out of 11 for 73. Field goal wise, we shot the ball 50 times, made 23 of them for 46%. Only 4 out of 16 from the 3-point line, which in the fourth quarter we fell in love with the 3-pointer there for a few minutes, but thankfully the romance was short-lived, and we went back to driving the ball and making baskets. That was, but overall 46% is pretty good shooting.
Yeah.
We just had 8 turnovers. They had 12.
Really good.
We out-rebounded them 26-22. So the second half, we out-rebounded them 15-10. So and they only had 2 offensive rebounds in the second half, where they had 6 in the first half. So I'm sure that was the point of emphasis at halftime, where Coach Brooks said, "Get them off the boards."
Right.
So we had 18 defensive and 8 offensive rebounds for 26 total. They had 14 defensive and 8. So we evened up the offensive rebounds in the second half. They had 22. So we out-rebounded before, had 4 fewer turnovers, shot the ball 10% better than they did. So a 12-point win shouldn't be too big a surprise, although they did outscore us from the 3-point line by 21-12. But still, we made more field goals overall.
Right. And the best number is talking about the 8 turnovers. That's 2 games in a row in which we've had less than 10 turnovers.
Yes. And it's not that we've been playing slow and hanging around and holding the ball. We just we're making better passes. People are coming to meet the pass, which is oftentimes a problem. And our defense and Coach wasn't happy on one hand with his perimeter defense, but then he was quick to say that JD did a good job on
Blake Reed.
So, and JD was laying off. And I know they don't want him to get to score to get the ball. Sometimes that's pretty hard to do when you're running, like he said, running through screens, and they were setting some pretty rough screens out there around the foul line to get him free for a 3-pointer, and JD was bouncing off a lot of them. So it's hard. The point there is, and one time I know that Clay did it, the off guy's got to pick that guy up until JD gets his feet, and so that's the thing. But good win. They did a lot of things physically that we don't like. We don't like to be rough too much, and we did a good job of hanging in there and pulling out the win.
All right, our Judy Construction Company player of the game, we're going to give it to J.D. Sword. J.D. with 19 points, including 3 3-pointers. Had a couple of rebounds as well and added an assist just for good measure. So congratulations, J.D. Sword, our Judy Construction Company player of the game. Harrison County's next game is less than 24 hours from now, when Powell County will come from Stanton to take on the Breads here on the Hilltop.
Senior night.
Oh, is it? Okay. So senior night for our seniors. So make plans now to, if you can, come and support your seniors. We'll be on the air with the pregame show of the varsity game at around 7:15 or thereabouts, depending on how long the senior night stuff goes. I'm sure it's going to be between JV and varsity game. But in any case, join us on the radio tomorrow if you can't be here on person. I want to thank Ryan for doing a great job on this streaming of the broadcast tonight. Also want to thank Mike for all the great work he does on both color and stats. Want to thank our engineer as well, back at the station, Trent Harris. And as always, want to thank all of our sponsors, because without their help, we would not be able to get Harrison County High School basketball on the air. So in this girl-boy doubleheader in the opener, the final score was not good, but I guess we'll have to talk about it anyway. 33 turnovers is not much to talk about. But anyway, Tate's Creek won 54-38. And in the nightcap, your final score for the final time, the Harrison County Thoroughbred 65, Bracken County 53. Good evening, everyone.